And that brings us to the final round of the 2007 MSDGC. The weather has cooperated beautifully for this final round. We've got 82 degrees and a 5-mile-an-hour northerly wind. While the top 6 players remained the top 6 players, there was a lot of movement going on lower in the leaderboard. Notably, Chris Sprague shot a 47, moving up from 21st to 7th. And even more impressively, Steve Brinster and Mitch Sonderfan moved up from 45th to 13th and 17th, respectively. It's pretty exciting when these big MSDGC names start making their moves. Let's take a quick look at our leaderboard going into the 4th round. Cale Leiviska is on top after shooting a 12 down on the Pyramid Silver course. He comes into the final round 15 under par. Jeff Bennett, 3 strokes off the pace, shot an 11 down over at the Pyramid Silver course. He finds himself 12 under par. Tied with Jeff Bennett is John Fowler, who shot a 10 down in the 3rd round. Shore Soleng and Justin Bennell are tied for 4th, and Michael Johansen rounds out our top 6 shots off the pace. In all likelihood, one of these 6 players will walk away your MSDGC champion. Shore Soleng from Norwalk, Connecticut starts us off as the first player on the 2nd card. Currently tied for 4th, 5 shots out of the lead. He gets off a beautiful first shot. Woo! Clears the pond a bit to the right. He's got a run at birdie 3. Michael Johansen from Denver, North Carolina. I've seen Michael throw this shot in the past. He's got plenty of arm to clear that pond. That is a big shot, a little bit to the right of the pond. That is a good way to start if you want to make a run at birdie 3. Next up, currently in 7th place, is Chris Sprague from Rock Island, Illinois. Chris was last year's champion. He moved up 14 spots to get onto the 2nd card. He is going for center field, throwing right over the heart of the pond. A big shot by Chris. Oh, a splash. I don't know if that's in or out. I would hate to make that call. And rounding out the 2nd card is Craig Gangloff from Damascus, Maryland. A very shortened follow-through. Craig's been improving every round so far this tournament. That's turning right a little bit. He's going to have a tough look at birdie from down there. Shore Soleng's 2nd shot on this par 4 hole 1. It lands in 20 feet short of the pin. Very safe, bearing in mind there's OB past the pin. We jump to Craig Gangloff's birdie putt. Right over the top, he will be getting the par with Michael Johansen and Chris Sprague. And here's Shore Soleng's birdie putt. Shore gains no ground on hole 1, and we move on to the lead card with Cale Leiviska on the tee. Cale is in the driver's seat, 3 shots in the lead. If he can maintain that lead over the next 18 holes on this challenging airplanes course, he's going to walk away with $5,000.
Go! Yeah!
A perfectly placed drive for Cale.
Next up, Jeff Bennett.
Jeff moved into 2nd place after shooting a very impressive 11 under par at the Pyramid Silver course. He is now 3 shots off the pace, and on this challenging Maple Hill Airplanes course, with good consistent play, he's got a shot at making up that 3-stroke deficit. Heck, he could make up that 3-stroke deficit on 1 hole. Just ask Chris Sprague. And that drive is not going to help. Jeff's got to get his head right if he's going to make a run at the MSDGC Championship. It looks like Jeff wants a redo.
Next up, John Fowler.
John Fowler's been shooting quality golf throughout the first 3 rounds of the MSDGC. In the first round, he was 1 off the best. In the 2nd and 3rd rounds, he was only 2 off the best scores of the day. He finds himself tied for 2nd, 3 shots behind Cale. Go, baby, go! That disc is going to clear the pond. Oh, by a good 5 feet.
And next is Justin Bennell.
At last year's MSDGC, Justin Bennett rounded out the lead card. This year he does the same. He is 5 strokes out of the lead, and he's got plenty of good shots in his bag to close that gap. Here's Justin Bennett on the tee of hole 1. What an effortless drive. Did I mention it's 480 feet to clear the pond? Justin Bennett clears it with ease. He is set up to make a good run at birdie 3. And we move to Jeff Bennett's 3rd shot, counting the OB. He puts up a skyscraper ante. It comes back left, fades out to the right. He is pin high about 70 feet to the right of the pin. John Fowler's 2nd shot. Not quite enough juice on that mustard. He's probably being cautious of the OB past the pin. He leaves that 2nd shot well short. Here is Cale's 2nd shot. Oh, he too doesn't quite pull it enough. That also is a long putt for birdie. And here is Justin Bennett's 2nd shot. If he can get this close, he's got an opportunity to gain some ground. Well then, he leaves it shorter than anybody. Here's Justin Bennett's birdie putt. Justin cards a par on hole 1. We go to Jeff Bennett's par putt. After throwing in the water, Jeff Bennett cards the bogey on hole 1. And here's Cale's birdie putt to gain 2 strokes on Jeff. Cale misses an opportunity. We go to John Fowler to gain a stroke on Cale. Here's his birdie putt. Birdie! John Fowler takes sole possession of 2nd place, closes the gap between he and Cale to 2, and we go to hole 2. On hole 2, Soleng is on the tee. Oh, a big, beautiful thumber. That is a very safe shot. The wall on the right is OB, does not come into play. Michael Johansen, he puts up a roller. It gets down, a big bounce, a bigger bounce. He's in the woods. He should be able to save par from there. Oh, or he could make a run at birdie. Beautiful shot. We jump to Chris Sprague for birdie. Oh, chains left. We jump to Soleng for par. Shore's putting has cost him 2 strokes already. We go to the lead card with John Fowler on the tee. Oh, a beautiful drive. He sets himself up. He's going to birdie hole 2. That puts some serious pressure on Cale, who is now on the tee. Cale throws a good drive. It's a little left. It's got plenty of distance. Oh, hits the trees on the left. The lead might be down to 1. We go to Justin Bennett on the tee of hole 2. That's got plenty of distance. It's a bit right. Kicks right. He is OB on the 2nd hole. And that brings us to Jeff Bennett, who bogeyed the 1st hole. Is now 4 strokes behind Cale. A nice drive, cautiously to the left. Hits an early tree. He's left with a long shot for birdie. And here is his birdie run. Cale Leiviska's birdie run. And that means John Fowler, if he sinks this putt, will close the gap to 1, gaining 2 strokes in the first 2 holes.
Deuce.
We advance to hole 3 with Michael Johansen on the tee, still 6 strokes out of the lead. This is a big left to right to left S. You have to get to the left of the big pine. Here is Michael's drive. Oh, hits the big pine, kicks way left. Michael's in trouble on hole 3. Chris Sprague now on the tee of hole 3. Oh, almost sneaks to the right of the big pine, kicks way right. Chris Sprague is also in trouble on hole 3. Soleng on the tee. Hits the gap perfectly. Doesn't quite fade left. Gets a nice kick. He has a good shot at birdie. And we go to Craig Gangloff on the tee. A nice throw. Doesn't turn right enough. Oh, gets lucky on the inside. kicks out to the fairway. He has an easy up and down for par. Michael Johansen stays in trouble. We'll be getting a bogey on hole 3. We go to Chris Sprague's second shot. He gets through the trees. Let's see if he can hit that par putt. A very nice par save by Chris Sprague, and we go to Shore Soleng. Time to get the putting groove on, Shore.
There you go.
Stepping up with a birdie. Back to the lead card on hole 3. John Fowler's drive kicked right. He'll have an up and down for par. Here's Cale's drive. Right down the middle of the fairway. A perfect shot, giving himself a run at birdie and easy par. Here's Jeff Bennett on the tee. Throwing a flick is a very tricky shot here. He keeps it left. Oh, hits an inside tree. He's all set up for an up and down for par. We go to John Fowler's second shot. Oh, he's making a run at birdie. Oh, just right. Leaves himself 40 feet coming back. Here's Jeff Bennett's second shot. Hangs it out right. Oh, kicks right. He also has a tough par putt. Cale has got the easy par. Here's John Fowler to not lose ground. John falls back to 2 off the pace. Here's Jeff Bennett's par putt.
Yeah.
He stays 4 strokes off the pace and 2 strokes behind John Fowler for second. We start off with Shore Soleng on the tee. After hitting that birdie putt, he's 5 off the pace. A beautiful shot, straight down the gut. Gets a little skip. He's got a good shot at birdie. Chris Sprague now on the tee. Throws a little mini hyzer. Gets a little skip. He too's got a good shot at birdie. We go to Michael Johansen. Straight down the gut. These guys are making it look easy. Michael Johansen's left with the longest birdie putt of the 3. He hits it, and they all get the birdies. We go back to the lead card with Cale Leiviska on the tee of hole 4. Fades left. Oh, kicks right. He's got a long birdie putt. Jeff Bennett now. Oh, that disc starts fading right. Oh, he is down by the water's edge, pin high. And we go to John Fowler, 2 strokes off the pace. Oh, he pulls it way right. John Fowler's in trouble on hole 4. Justin has dropped to 6th, 7 strokes off the pace. Throws it straight through the gap. Justin wants it to go further. That's going to be a par. We go to Cale's birdie putt. This is a very fast green. Count it with confidence. We go to Jeff Bennett's birdie putt. He needs this to stay 4 back. After 4 holes of play, Cale has increased his lead to 4 over John Fowler, 5 over Jeff Bennett, and we find ourselves on hole 5, where fortunes can change. This is Shore Soleng's drive. Oh, gets tangled up, falls just OB. Michael Johansen now on the tee. A nice shot, that's going to be plenty safe. Kick, almost an ace. Nice shot, Michael. Easy birdie. We jump back to the lead card. Cale Leiviska on the tee. That drive's a little low. Coming in at the wall. Oh, hits the top rung. Cale Leiviska's OB on hole 5 opens the door for John and Jeff. Let's see what they can do. Here's Jeff Bennett's drive. It's curving in. It's parked for a birdie. Jeff's going to be gaining at least 2 strokes on Cale. Here's John Fowler's drive. It's curving right. Is it? No, it's not. It's all set up for an easy birdie. John and Jeff will both be gaining 2 strokes on Cale. After Justin's drive went in the drink, here's his 3rd shot. Justin ends up carding a triple circle 8 on hole 5. Cale Leiviska's third shot made it over the wall. This shot for bogey. Make mine a double. Jeff Bennett for birdie to gain 3 strokes. And John Fowler for birdie to gain 3 strokes. Things just got a bit tighter at the MSDGC. Cale's lead is down to 1 over John Fowler and 2 over Jeff Bennett. And this brings us to hole 6 with Craig Gangloff on the tee. Hole 6 is a very short par 4. It's got OB water to the left and OB stone wall to the right. It's only been deuced once in MSDGC history by Steve Brinster in the 05 Ace Skins. Craig Gangloff with a beautiful drive. He's got a shot at deuce. Here's Soleng on the tee. He too throws it right down the gut. Turns a little right. He should have an easy up and down to get the birdie. Michael Johansen on the tee. He's just 4 strokes out of the lead. Oh, he releases early. That disc fades left.
That's out.
He is OB wet. Here is Michael's third shot. He puts up a flick. Oh, kicks right OB. Michael's looking at a double bogey on hole 6. Meanwhile, on another planet, Soleng is looking at an eagle putt. Lays it in gently for a step-in birdie. And here's Craig Gangloff with a real eagle putt.
Hell yeah.
Eagle! Craig Gangloff has landed. Here's John Fowler's drive. Releases late, kicks left. John's in trouble on hole 6. Cale Leiviska on the tee. Ooh, a little right. Hey, oh, beautiful around the corner. Sets himself up. He's got a look at eagle and an easy birdie. And we go to Justin Bennett on the tee. He has fallen to 12th after that quintuple bogey on hole 5. Follows it up with a beautiful drive, straight as a string, right down the gut. Nice recovery by Justin. John Fowler's second shot. The smart play would be to lay up to the fairway. A big overhand by John Fowler goes OB. He is in more trouble on hole 6. He releases his fourth shot late. Every once in a while, you just sort of forget how to throw. He has got a long putt for bogey. We go to Jeff Bennett's second shot. It looks like he's trying a hammer through a lot of thick woods. Gets through. He's parked for the birdie. A beautiful shot by Jeff. Cale Leiviska for eagle. Hits the basket. A good run by Cale. And Justin Bennett for eagle. John Fowler now to try to save bogey. John loses 3 strokes on hole 6. Cale's lead is now 2 over Jeff Bennett and 4 over John Fowler and Soleng, who are tied for 3rd place. Shore's drive on hole 7, hits an early tree, kicks left.
Nope. Called it.
Chris Sprague. A nice low release, throws it straight, a little to the right. Oh, kicks left. He's in the fairway, should have an easy up and down for 3. We go to Michael Johansen. A nice throw, a nice follow through, pulls it a bit to the right. It kicks left, a little farther than Sprague's. He's got a tricky shot through the woods to get up and down for the birdie. It gets through. He's set up for the birdie. Chris Sprague's second shot. How gently can you throw it? A beautiful shot by Sprague, an easy birdie. We go to Soleng's par putt.
Come on.
Shore for bogey. He's 6 strokes off the pace. Half of those are his own missed putts. We go to the lead card with Jeff Bennett on the tee. He puts up his flick, starts turning left. Oh, kicks right. He is back in the fairway. Here's Leiviska on the tee. He fires it low and left. It kicks left. You can ask sure. There's trouble over there. And now Justin Bennett on the tee. Ooh, straight as a string. That's coming right at us. Whoa, right over top. Justin's got a good look at up and down for birdie. John Fowler now on the tee. Let's see if he can recover from that double bogey on the last hole. Throws it a bit high. Hits a limb. Dies left. He's got a tough up and down from there. Here's Cale's second shot. With Jeff set up for a probable birdie, he just needs to get out to the fairway and save his par. And that is not going to do it. Let's watch Cale's third shot. Now in real trouble on hole 7. He leaves himself a very long putt for par, giving Jeff an opportunity to gain 2 strokes on this hole. John Fowler's second shot. Oh, he tried a skip shot just off a rock. Let's watch that again in slow-mo. We'll be able to see how close he was. And we go to Jeff Bennett's second shot. An up and down for birdie will give him a probable tie for the lead. That should be close enough. We go to Cale for his par putt. If Jeff hits this birdie putt, he'll gain 2 strokes, 5 in the last 3 holes, and tie for the lead.
3.
It is a brand new day. After 4 holes, Cale led everybody by at least 4 strokes. 3 holes later, he and Jeff are tied up. John Fowler's 3 strokes back. We've got quite a battle for the MSDGC crown. And that brings us to Craig Gangloff on the tee of hole 8.
Wow,
He puts it up. He turns a bit early. Hole 8, she is a fickle beast. And we go to Chris Sprague. A beautiful lefty throw by Chris. Arcs in.
Get in.
Oh, just in front of the basket. An easy birdie for Chris Sprague. Michael Johansen on the tee. Puts up his flick. Turns right, he too should have the easy birdie on hole 8. Sure Soleng now.
Clean.
Turns right, hits the big pine. It's do or die at hole 8.
Zone over there.
Sure Soleng. Chris Sprague for birdie. Michael Johansen for birdie. Oh, Michael misses the birdie and stays 5 shots out. Here's Jeff Bennett, our new leader, on the tee. He parks it. He puts all the pressure on Cale. We go to John Fowler now. It curves in below the big pine. He'll have a shot at birdie, a pretty easy par, and we go to Leiviska, who's lost 5 strokes over the last 3 holes to Jeff Bennett. Jeff is parked. Cale is on the tee. It curves in before the big pine. He too will have a putt at birdie, an easy par. John Fowler's birdie putt. Leiviska's birdie putt. He needs this to stay tied for the lead. And here's Justin Bennett's pretty birdie putt. After scoring that quintuple bogey on hole 5, Justin has come back to hit 3 birdies in a row. And we go to hole 9, with Jeff Bennett now leading Leiviska by 1. Michael Johansen on the tee, sets himself up for this eagle shot. He leaves it 20 feet short. On this Peninsula green, that is no gimme putt. Water behind, a very scary look. Easy birdie for JoJo. We go to Jeff Bennett, who's on the plateau looking down at the peninsula. Cale's drive was a bit closer, so there's a bit of pressure on Jeff to get this close to set himself up for a chance at birdie. I think he's done it. He is parked for the birdie, putting all the pressure right back on Cale's shoulders. Cale's been struggling of late. Fades off left. He leaves himself with this putt for birdie. Count it. Cale does not lose ground to Jeff on hole 9. Stays one back. Here's John Fowler for birdie. We go to hole 10 with Cale and Jeff threatening to pull away. John Fowler is still within striking distance. Here's Craig Gangloff's drive on hole 10. A beautiful drive around the corner. Sets himself up for an easy 3. Here's Michael Johansen's second shot. Oh, he pulls that a bit right. That's a tricky upshot. He has this putt for par. Easy pickings. Jeff Bennett on the tee now. Pulls it around the corner, sets himself up for a nice up and down, should get the par. John Fowler on the tee. Gets a bad bounce. He too should be able to get up and down to save the par. And Cale Leiviska, who's lost ground on 3 of the last 5 holes. Pulls it beautifully, tight to the right. A great shot by Cale. That's exactly where you want to be. And Justin Bennett now. Oh, demonstrates that actually that's where you want to be. Nice shot by Justin. Here's John Fowler's second shot. Yoy, he pulls that way left. The disc forgot to leave his hand. He's got a tough par. Jeff Bennett's second shot. He too pulls it way left. Hits a tree. A very long par putt for Jeff. Cale has an opportunity to gain a stroke and tie for the lead. And he parks it. All the pressure's on Jeff. Here's his par shot. We have another tie for the lead. John Fowler's par putt. So with 8 holes to play, Jeff Bennett has caught Cale Leiviska. He's taken the lead, and Cale has come back and caught Jeff. They are tied for the lead at 15 under par. John Fowler, arguably still within striking distance at 4 back. Michael Johansen 5 back, and Soleng rounds out the top 5. Here we go to hole 11 on the second card. Michael Johansen's second shot. He wants to punch it through left of the birch. He leaves it a little left. He's got a very long birdie shot. Not enough. Michael Johansen getting the par. We jump to the lead card and Jeff Bennett's second shot. He too pulls it way left. He's got a very tough birdie. Here's John Fowler's second shot. Hits the gap. Fades left. A very nice shot by John Fowler. He's got a chance at birdie, and we go to Cale Leiviska, who gets in the gap, keeps flying, plenty of distance, hits a tree. He has got a chance at birdie and maybe the lead. Jeff Bennett for birdie. And John Fowler for birdie now. And Cale Leiviska for a shot at the lead. Oh, in and out. Unbelievable. Cale Leiviska has denied the lead. And we go to hole 12. We start with the second card. Michael Johansen's in trouble on hole 12. Here's Soleng on the tee.
Yeah, then you have to put extra 0 on it.
Yeah.
Straight as a string. Shore takes
sweet.
the thin gap. Shore is
Nice,
setting
Shore.
himself up for a shot at Eagle 3.
Not too long.
Here's Michael Johansen's second shot. He gets around the corner. He should be able to save par. We go to Soleng's second shot. A big pull.
Beauty.
Fades right. Doesn't come back. Shore's got a very long eagle shot. A probable birdie. Michael Johansen's third shot. And we go to Soleng's eagle putt. Oh, just in front of the basket. A very nice run by Soleng. Here's Michael Johansen's birdie shot. Very nice run. We go back to the lead card with Leiviska on the tee. If you can get to the huge birch about 270 feet down the alley and fade left, you'll be on the fairway looking out towards the pin. Bounces right. He is in a little trouble on hole 12. Here's Jeff Bennett's drive. That's a very nice shot by Jeff. I hope he didn't go too far. John Fowler now on the tee. Another nice looking shot by John. Here's Cale's second shot. Deep in the woods, a huge ante. He sets himself up in the fairway. He's got a chance at up and down for birdie. Here's Jeff Bennett's second shot. He did go too far. He gets out into the fairway. A very nice recovery by Jeff. And here's Cale's third shot on this par 5 hole 12. Off right, kicks left. He should be able to go up and down to save par. We go to Jeff Bennett's third shot. If he can get close, he can take the lead. Gets good distance. Fades left.
Yeah, good shot.
We go to John Fowler's eagle approach. An easy birdie for John Fowler and Leiviska, hoping to get close to save the par. Gets close and saves the par. Here's Jeff Bennett's birdie putt to reclaim the lead. And Cale for par to only fall one back. Pushes it off left, gets a nice catch by the chains. Let's watch that again. And we're moving on to hole 13 with Jeff Bennett in the lead by 1. Hole 13 should be a pretty easy birdie for these guys. It plays about 270. Here's Michael Johansen's drive. He throws it about 300. He's left with about 30 feet coming back. The only tricks on this hole are the right to left fading fairway and the prevailing winds. Chris Sprague's drive. Pin high, about 30 feet to the right. Craig Gangloff's drive now. Sets himself up 15 feet from the pin. Here's Chris Sprague's birdie putt. Birdie! Nice shot by Chris Sprague. Michael Johansen. Answers. Beautiful shots by these guys. Soleng's birdie putt. Easy pickings. Craig Gangloff to assure the star frame. Count it. Nice putting by the second card. And we go to Justin Bennett on the tee of hole 13. Parked. John Fowler is 3 shots behind Cale, 4 shots behind Jeff. They are both parked for the birdie. And here's his drive. It's flying by. Oh, hits a tree. Very nice tree. Saves his birdie. We go to hole 14 with the top 8 players all deucing. We go to hole 14 where dreams can be made and broken. Michael Johansen's drive gets around the Lone Pine, skips into the Laurel, rolls out. Michael Johansen's got the deuce on hole 14. Here's Chris Sprague on the tee. He opts for the hyzer route, not his normal laser beam. Gets around the Lone Pine, parked for the birdie. Chris Sprague is in the top 5. We go to our leader, Jeff Bennett. Ooh, skips by the Lone Pine. He is set up for the birdie. All the pressure is on Cale. We go to John Fowler's tee shot. Hits the Lone Pine. He's left himself with 70 feet. Cale Leiviska now, 1 shot out of the lead. The leader is parked for birdie. Doesn't put it way out there. It hyzers into the woods. Just looking at Cale, you can see his body language. He's 2 down with 4 to go. There's trouble in Caleville. John Fowler's birdie putt. Oh, off the front of the basket, a very nice run by John Fowler. And Cale Leiviska for birdie. He's got to go up and over the Laurel. And he does just that. Cale Leiviska saves the birdie. Got a little spring in his step. We've got a match, folks. 4 holes to play. Cale is fighting and scratching. He is still in this thing. Jeff Bennett calmly, methodically takes the birdie, keeps the lead. On the Maple Hill Airplanes course, Jeff Bennett has birdied 9 of the last 11 holes, beating Cale by 6 over that stretch, only having 1 bad shot, the upshot on hole 10, which cost him a bogey. It's fun watching Cale fight and scratch to stay in this, but coming back from 4 strokes behind, it seems like Jeff Bennett is this year's Cinderella story. We go to hole 15 with Michael Johansen on the tee. Hole 15 is 305 feet through a straight alley, and Michael Johansen can throw it about 305 feet nice and straight. Sure Soleng on the tee, hangs it left, it antes back.
Get in. Get it.
Oh, a very nice run by Sure Soleng. Craig Gangloff now. Ouch. Craig is in trouble on hole 15. Here's his second shot.
That is an awesome deuce.
Oh, why did that not go in?
Oh, man.
Thank you, Craig. Michael Johansen for birdie.
Nothing to it.
We go to the lead card, Jeff Bennett on the tee. He's going to be throwing a flick through this tight alley. He pushes it off a bit to the right, fights through, pin high, but he's in some woods. Not an easy birdie putt. Cale Leiviska, if he can get the birdie, might have an opportunity to tie. And that should give him the birdie. A very nice shot by Cale. Let's watch John Fowler on the tee. We go to Jeff Bennett's birdie putt. Cale is parked. This is to maintain a 1-stroke lead. Count it. Jeff Bennett is on fire. We go to hole 16 with Jeff leading Cale by 1. Michael Johansen on the tee. He's 13 down, 1 stroke out of third. And he is in trouble on hole 16. Soleng now. He's 11 down, tied for 5th. He gets that turning right. A beautiful shot by Soleng. He has got a shot at birdie. Splitting the Guardian tree, perhaps. Michael Johansen's second shot. That is how you save a par. We go to the lead card. Jeff Bennett on the tee. Gets tangled up. He should be able to have the up and down for par. Leiviska with another opportunity. A birdie will tie. Pulls it right, kicks right. Oh my, that kicks way right. I have never seen a disc fly that far right on this hole. Leiviska's in trouble. John Fowler now, who's only 4 strokes behind Cale. A beautiful run by John Fowler. He's got a birdie chance. We could be seeing a 3-stroke swing between Fowler and Cale. Second place is in play. Justin Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
A perfect drive.
Yeah.
We go to Cale's second shot. He is 4 strokes ahead of John Fowler,
That way.
who's got a shot at birdie. With a couple of great shots, Cale could save par. Here's his second shot. Cale stays in trouble, can't get out of the woods on his second shot. Here is Cale's third shot. This is for par. I think we're looking at a double bogey for Cale on hole 16. A birdie by John would put him just 1 stroke out of second place. Oh, a beautiful save by Leiviska. Puts it right next to the basket, saves the bogey. We go to Jeff Bennett's second shot. Jeff will be gaining another stroke on Cale. He'll have a 2-stroke lead with 2 to play. And John Fowler for birdie. Splits the Guardian tree just over top. John Fowler will gain 1 stroke on Cale. Justin Bennett. So Jeff Bennett takes a 2-stroke lead into the final 2 holes. John Fowler is 3 strokes behind Cale. And we move on to hole 17. This hole is 400 feet, has an elevation rise of 24 feet. This par 4 hole makes you throw your first drive into the opening to get a good look at the pin. If you do get in the opening, an up and down will give you a birdie. So you have some proper perspective. The red diamond is where the camera is located. We start out on the second card with Craig Gangloff on the tee. And that is a perfect drive by Craig, right in the opening, making it look easy. Michael Johansen's second shot. Michael for birdie. Leaves it short on the fast green, flies by about 15 feet. We go to Jeff Bennett. Here's his drive. Leaves it a little left of the ideal landing zone. He's going to have a tough up and down for birdie. John Fowler now. Pulls it right. He's got a tight look. Leiviska on the tee, 2 strokes out of the lead. A very nice shot. Actually throws it a bit far. He's got got a good look at up and down for birdie. He could close the gap to 1 if Jeff Bennett does not get the birdie. Here's Jeff's second shot. Releases early, pushes left. He's left with about 60 feet on a fast green for birdie. John Fowler's second shot. He's got a great look at birdie. Here's Cale's second shot.
Nice.
Right in there. He's got a great look at birdie. And Justin Bennett, getting all kinds of tangled up, fights through. He too has a good look at birdie. Here's Jeff Bennett's birdie putt. If Jeff can hit this putt, he all but assures himself an MSDGC victory. If he misses and flies by, we could see a 2-stroke swing, and Cale would be tied for the lead. Jeff Bennett was making the run. He wanted to nail the coffin shut right now. Cale Leiviska for birdie to close the gap to 1 with 1 hole to play. Hits it. We have got a match again, folks. We're moving on to hole 18. Cale, 1 stroke behind Jeff. Here we go. Let's do a quick recap of some of the notables of the MSDGC. Tim Walsh, who struggled down the stretch, going OB on the final hole, ends up in 20th place. Nathan Cron, with this shot, ends up in 16th place. We go to Craig Ganglaw, who had a serious roller coaster ride in the final round, finishes at 15 under par for the tournament, good enough for 13th place. Mike Dussault, another New England native, finishes at 16 under par, good enough for 12th place. Joe Mela finishes at 18 under par for the tournament and is in a 4-way tie for 8th place with Justin Bennett, Matt Peckham, Mitch Sonderfan, and himself. Steve Brinster, who started the 3rd round in 45th, jumped to 13th, and then jumps in the final round again up to 7th place, finishing 19 under par. A beautiful second day for Steve Brinster. Chris Sprague and Shur Soleng have been battling for 5th throughout the entire final round. Their back and forth has been fun to watch. They end up tied in 5th place at 22 under par and pocketing over $1,100. Nice top 5 finish, fellas. And that brings us to Michael Johansen, who starts the final hole 1 stroke out of 3rd. He gets the birdie, pulls into a tie for 3rd with John Fowler, with John Fowler having the final hole to play. On the tee of the final hole, Jeff Bennett leads Cale Leiviska by 1. John Fowler is tied for 3rd with Michael Johansen. Our finishing hole on the Maple Hill Airplanes course is 605 feet in length, has a rise in elevation of 16 feet. Players will want to set their drive down a couple of 100 feet short of the island green, giving them a shot at birdie 3. And we go to Justin Bennett, teeing off first in the lead card on hole 18. Justin gets off a big drive. It fades left. He's going to have a tough look from the left side of the fairway. Cale is next up on the tee. He's closed the gap to 1. He's got to set himself up for a birdie 3 to put any pressure at all on Jeff. A big drive, turns right, keeps turning, glides nicely. He has got a good look at the island green. The pressure goes to Jeff. If Jeff can get the birdie 3, this thing is over. He puts up the flick. It looks a little right to me. Fades right. He is well short of Cale's drive. That is a very tough up and down for birdie. John Fowler on the tee. A great pull. Glides right. A few feet short of Cale's drive. That is a beautiful drive by John Fowler. We go to Justin Bennell's second shot. Doesn't quite carry enough. He goes short and right of the island green. And that brings us to Jeff Bennett. Jeff walks up to take a look. He's got two options here. He could lay up and take the easy 4, or he could go for the win and try to get on the island green. The problem with going for the win, if he falls short, he could end up with a circle 5, meaning Cale could gain 2 strokes and win the tournament on this hole. Here's Jeff's upshot. Oh, that went just long. That is OB past the island green. He would have gone inbounds on the far side of the green. Let's see that again from another angle. He's going to have an easy putt to save his circle 4, but that opens the door for Cale to get the birdie and tie this thing up. John Fowler is up next. He has a very similar shot to what Cale will be seeing. Oh, and he turns it early. That is OB, and that means John Fowler will need to hit his long putt from the fairway to tie Michael Johansen for third. We go to Cale, who's walking back after taking a quick look at the island green. He's got about 150 feet to the island green, and he needs to turn right and go about another 40 to get under the pin. Putts. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Unbelievable finish here at the MSDGC. Let's watch Justin and John finish up. Here are their par putts. Oh, Justin is off the basket. A beautiful run by Justin and John Fowler to tie for third. Another basket shot. An inch short of third place. A $400 inch. Here's Cale Leiviska for the birdie to tie him with Jeff Bennett. Count it. And it goes to Jeff Bennett, who has this, what should be a gimme, a 10-footer to tie with Cale. We are indeed going to a sudden death playoff on Maple Hills holes 1 and 2 in the Elements course, followed by 1 and 2 on the airplanes. Let's see how we got here. Jeff Bennett started out slow, throwing his very first drive of the final round into the drink on hole 1, quickly losing a stroke to Cale. Cale then opened the lead up to 4 on hole 4 with this birdie putt. And that's when the wheels fell off for Cale. Losing 3 strokes on hole 5 as his drive hit the top of the wall. Losing another 2 strokes on hole 7, getting stuck in the woods. On hole 8, with Jeff and Cale tied for the lead, Jeff throws this strike and takes the lead at the MSDGC for the first time. He continues to throw strikes, at one point birdieing 10 of 12 holes on this Maple Hill Airplanes course. But Cale continued to answer the challenge, especially when he hit this big birdie putt on hole 14. On hole 15, with Jeff in the woods, Cale applies the pressure by parking his drive. Jeff responds in kind, hitting his own big birdie putt. And on hole 16, Cale gets the kick of a lifetime. Flying a couple hundred feet to the right, he miraculously saves a bogey, gains the stroke back on hole 17, and sets himself up for this tourney-tying shot. on the 72nd hole they played.
First on the tee, Leiviska.
We start the sudden death on the Maple Hill Elements hole 1. 355 feet, 340 feet to clear the pond. In the 2 previous years we had a sudden death playoff. They were both decided right here on hole 1. Ron Russell beat out Steve Brinster in 04. Kevin McCoy beat out Walt Haney in 05. Cale Leiviska is on the tee. It's got good distance. Heisering a little left. He left himself about 35 feet pin high. Jeff Bennett now. He puts it out left. It hyzers back. He's left with this putt for birdie. Two inches higher, that would have made it in. He hits the front of the basket, glances off right, and Cale Leiviska to win the MSDGC. Off right. For the first time in MSDGC history, we go to a second hole in the MSDGC sudden death playoff. There are 3 ways to play hole 2. You can throw a big left to right Annie, you can throw a big hyzer shot over top of the forest, or you can throw it straight through the thin gap. Cale on the tee, throws a huge Annie. Keeps fading right, past the pin. He's got 25 feet coming back for birdie.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a 4th route. Jeff looks like he's throwing a hammer over the top. Pin high, 20 feet right. Jeff is all kinds of set up also. We go to Cale's birdie putt. He pushes it off left. The chains make a great catch. Let's see that one again in slow-mo. And here's Jeff Bennett to push to a 3rd playoff hole. We are going to the airplane.
One goal.
Hole 1 on the airplane's course is 760 feet long, 480 feet to clear the pond. Jeff Bennett barely made the close edge of the pond. It will be fun to watch Jeff's reaction as Cale takes his drive on hole 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come back.
Booyah.
Come back.
That's right, son.
Easily clears the pond. There is a lot of pressure on Jeff Bennett to come through right now. He's throwing a flick. His backhand went right in the drink. He's switching it up, trying to throw a flick 480 feet to clear the pond. Jeff Bennett's drive on hole 1. I think the
You're gonna be,
tables
down
have
by the wall,
turned
by
as
the
Jeff Bennett
Okay.
is perfectly placed in the fairway. He's got a real good look at up and down for birdie, while Cale is down to the right in the trees. Jeff, who's a little farther out, will be throwing his upshot first. Oh, hits a rock, stays in bounds. He's got about 50 feet on a fast green for birdie. Here is Cale's second shot. He leaves it a bit short. Let's see if we got that from another angle. It trickles through the tree. He is on the good side of that pine. Got about a 5-foot putt for birdie. You got to figure he's going to hit that. A lot of pressure back on Jeff. Jeff's birdie putt. Jeff is still out. Cale is lying 2, Jeff is lying 3, and Jeff is still out. He needs to hit this putt to put any pressure at all on Cale. A beautiful putt by Jeff, and it goes to Cale. Money. Congratulations to Cale Leiviska, our 2007 MSDGC champion. Congratulations also to Jeff Bennett on a fantastic battle. That was fun to watch, fellas. I'm Steve Dodge. I hope you enjoyed the 2007 MSDGC. Have a great night.
Wow.
It's not a towel.
You were right. 2 up with 2 to go, and you said it was going to be a playoff. No. Take your cell phone out. Take your cell phone out. You still got to dunk.